The presentation. Epip. Um, what are we about? We're facing new challenges with a new kind of philanthropy, and that new philanthropy is going to need new leaders. Um, Next slide. Emerging Practitioners in Philanthropy, EPIP, is a national network of foundation professionals and social entrepreneurs who strive for excellence in the practice of philanthropy. So that's who we are and what we do. And we are an inclusive group of highly skilled and effective change makers committed to working together to build a just, equitable, and sustainable society. So it's not only about being effective and highly skilled, but it's why we're highly skilled and effective and why that's important, what kind of impact we're having. It's really trying to build a different kind of world that's more just, equitable, and sustainable. And those are our values. So we provide a platform for our community to connect with each other. And that's what's happening on this call. We're connecting with new people, geographically spread with different roles within our organizations. To develop, to have learning and practice of leadership skills. So not only you're connecting with folks, but you're really being intentional about how you're developing yourself as a leader and learning. And lastly, it's about having a voice and giving voice to emerging and transformative thoughts in the sector. So EPIP, if you don't remember anything else, I mean, there are three things that EPIP can do for you. It can get you connected with others that are similarly like-minded and have the same kind of values. There's a chance for you to learn from each other and from national about skills and practices that will make you a more effective leader so you can have an impact on community. And it's a space for people to have a voice so that new and innovative thoughts can get to the table, or thoughts that haven't gotten to the table because of power dynamics that have crowded them out. But we're a space for those voices to have a space and hopefully influence the sector so that we can find answers to long-standing problems that plague communities. So, talking about community, we look at EPIP on three levels: the societal level, the social sector level, and the individual leader. And so the work is ultimately about communities because we want to have impact on communities and want to make the world a better place. So we realize that there are challenges in communities that reduce people's opportunities to have a happy and healthy life. And when we developed this slide, the talking about new challenges was a little bit controversial because there have been long-standing inequities that exist in communities. But the new challenge is I think the diversity that exists in communities. So it calls for new partnerships for people to work together. And another new challenge is that there's a widening disparity between the haves and have-nots, and technology and resources, financial resources, and kind of in knowledge, and that makes gaps and chasms even greater. And I think it makes it a little bit more difficult to come together and find solutions that really ensure that all have opportunities for happy and healthy life. So as you can see, there are a bunch of problems that are happening within communities that are listed in this slide. And what we need is a new kind of philanthropy to face these challenges. So we need to be more innovative. We need to be more collaborative. We need to be open and transparent. We need to represent the different demographics that are within this country and the different generations. And we need to be able to engage and develop people so that all are engaged in the franchise, so to speak, and that different perspectives that might have been left to the side are brought into trying to have more rigorous problem solving and attacking problems from a different lens to find solutions that hadn't been tried before. So in order to have this new kind of philanthropy, we're going to need new kinds of change makers, new leaders. So we're looking for people who are highly skilled, people that are inclusive in their practice, people that come from diverse backgrounds, people that are willing to adapt, and people that are passionate about doing the right thing and passionate and know why they're doing the work. Not just so that they can get a better job and a better salary and look more important for their family and friends, but because they really want to make the world a better place. And so EPIP is the space where we're trying to develop these people that are highly skilled, that are inclusive, diverse, adaptable, and passionate. So what does it mean to be emerging? So one of the obvious things is being younger. When you're coming up and just getting your first job and you're just getting your first experiences, I think that's one definition of being emerging. But there's also you be emerging because you're coming in with a new perspective career-wise. You might have been in academia coming over to philanthropy, or you might have been in the business sector working in government. And so EPIP can be helpful to you to understand some of the best practices and what's happening within the field of philanthropy and finding ways to apply your skills into this new space. But then also EPIP is for the innovator, the entrepreneur. And it's a way that we can have thoughts that have been marginalized because they might represent ideas that have come from a minority or some people who have not been in the mainstream and allows us to have transformative thought. And that thought leadership will allow us to hopefully create the better philanthropy that we're aiming for. So it might be analyzing a problem from an environmental perspective that in the past hadn't been considered because of the economics and the way that the industry was run off of petroleum based energy and coal, that people didn't really care about the environment, but by understanding that the costs that happen aren't necessarily always financial but sometimes environmental, makes a difference. Or understanding how the structural problems and policies of the past have kept certain groups of people behind and allowed other people to advance. So when you see disparities in graduation rates or in wealth, and you see how it maps onto race, that you kind of understand the problem from the long standing origin of it, and not just on the face that a certain group of people just seem to not be working hard enough, or just seems if we just give this one person a fish that they'll be doing better, but understanding of getting to the root of problems and having those types of thinkers and thought leaders at the center of philanthropy and including different people around the table will help us to have philanthropy be what it needs to be to create a more just and equitable society.